I can have a cold stone heart when I need to.
Right.
Right?
Sure.
Does
Things you do behind my back, Sam. I had no idea.
That is the only one I've ever done.
Now I'm just suspecting and then reflecting everything that happened in my life.
I thought the best time to tell you was on the podcast. Ayubowan.
Kia ora.
And welcome back to...
Sorry, Amma. I married a Kiwi.
It's good to have you back here. And we apologise we missed a week of the podcast.
We have reasons, as we always do. But thank you so much for coming back.
Partly you had the flu.
I did.
You were knocked out.
I was knocked out and we are in the mend now, but Sam is kind of picking up the slack and then he's hot.
I'm slightly feverish and apparently I look like I have blood on my face.
You look like you don't have blood on your face.
Or blood in my face.
Blood, yeah. Potato. You look like a ghost.
I look like a ghost apparently. Which is a thing whenever I have like slightly not enough sleep or whenever I'm mildly sick.
Yeah, that's how Sam says how he feels, like without saying anything.
I'm like a human mood ring.
Yeah, Sam's face goes like Casper the Ghost.
Yeah, a friendly ghost.
Exactly.
And on top of that, what else happened at that weekend which kind of threw off our podcast schedule?
So, here's the thing. Sam has been wanting to have a cat for a long time.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, we should have her here. But
Okay, that's a spoiler right there.
Oh, shit. Why am I so bad at giving the spoilers?
So, since we got a house, we'd kind of thought about, well, Sam had been instantly thinking about having a cat because I grew up with cats. I've never been responsible for a small creature of my own.
Yeah. I grew up with cats too. And
did?
my cat passed away last year,
Bunny.
which was very sad.
Yeah, because we just got up in the story to talking about you going back to Sri Lanka and seeing Bunny.
Yeah, so we were going through all the photos. I think that's kind of what triggered me to tell you last Saturday, like, do you want to go to SPCA? Maybe that's why. Because we were looking into the podcast to think about, like, what exactly happened when I went to Sri Lanka. Sorry, we're completely sort of, like, out of the plot here. So we were up to me going to Sri Lanka. So we were supposed to continue our story from there. So we were looking through our podcast photos and the text messages and everything just to figure out what exactly happened. And I stumbled upon a lot of Bunny photos because I kept taking photos of Bunny. She's the cutest ever. And
also when we were down Christchurch, we overlapped when we were down there for work. And I felt like that was when you said you're finally open to the idea of getting a cat. I don't want to become emotionally attached to that because I feel like we've gone back and forth a few times.
Yeah, because we didn't have a house initially, and I don't like the idea of like worrying about, oh my God, what the landlords be okay, like all that tension.
But even once we were in a house, like there's still we're both very travel-y people. We might go traveling.
Yeah.
How independent is this cat, even by cat standards?
So anyways, finally last Saturday we decided, let's go to have a look. But I told Sam, you're not to be attached.
So somehow we said we were going to go to the SPCA, which is the Society of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in New Zealand.
I actually didn't know the full name for it, but yeah.
I had to Google it before this to make sure that I've been right all my life. Well, that would have been very embarrassing.
But anyways, I was telling Sam, I was like, okay, we can go. Let's go. Let's have a look at the kittens. I have never been to an SPCA before, so I don't know what to expect.
We walk in, we're like, show us the kittens. No.
Well, that's kind of what actually happened.
But we were very nervous.
Rudely,
it was more like, would you mind, are we able to look at cats?
And they were like, no, you have to have an appointment. And we're like, oh, okay, great.
And then the woman's like, oh, well, there is one. It's a little bit shy, but also I should say before, on our way there, Emasha
I was thinking about the same thing. So my brother, who moved up with us to live with us, he got a job, but dang it is not in Auckland. So as much as we are happy for him, he's going to be leaving us. Our practice child is leaving us.
He just got back up to Auckland and then...
Yeah, he got a job and he's moving to South Island. So, but he's supposed to start the job in 2 weeks' time. So he decided, like, he woke up the one morning and it's like, oh my God, guys, I have an idea. I think I should go to Sri Lanka for the 2 weeks. And we are like, come on, dude, like, where did that come from? Because we were like so excited, like planning what to do for the next 2 weeks
A last
with
big
him.
hurrah.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, it's good that he went because we both were like super down the next 2 weeks because of the sickness. Maybe that was the universe telling him, like, oh, get out.
So Emasha's younger brother is called Sammy, aka Sudu.
Yeah.
And some listeners, I found out, apparently think he's quite young, like 17, because we've referred to him as our practice child. He is 27?
He's 27, I think, yes. Yeah, he is. Well, in Sri Lankan culture, like, we are with our parents until you're married and even possibly after the marriage. So, like, you never felt like you get rid of your responsibility towards your children and extensively to your younger siblings for older siblings never goes away. Mm-hmm. So it feels like that I still have a responsibility towards him, even though he's a gigantic adult.
So we're driving there and Sammy is in the back seat on his phone. He's basically booked his flight to Sri Lanka, but he hasn't hit the confirm button. And he's like, what do I do? Do I go to Sri Lanka for the 2 weeks? Do I stay here for the 2 weeks before heading down to the job? And then in the front, Emasha's like, okay, Sam, we're going to go to the SPCA. Why do I struggle with that? SPCA.
I think you're thinking too hard.
I think I am. We were headed to the SPQR and Emasha's
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, A.
Emasha's like, Sam, like this is like a no strings, our first look at the place.
Like literally before we got down from the car and walked there, I was like, Sam, we're sure, right? This is like, you're not to be attached. Please don't fall in love with a cat.
I'm like, I can have a cold stone heart when I need to.
Right.
Right?
Sure.
And I was like, no, like, we're just going to have a look. Like, I want us to, shop around till we find the one that we connect with.
Yeah. Shop around.
Shop around of these poor animals needing homes. But I'm like, no, I can be, looking at houses. We looked at 20 homes before we bought a house. And
true.
I only lost the plot once when I got attached to one. So that was all fine. So we went in and the woman was very like, oh no, like you don't have an appointment. You can't look at a cat. I mean, we're very understaffed. Oh, there's one kitten. It's
very shy.
It's very shy. And I was like, oh, well, we don't really want a shy.
We wanted a social cat.
Yeah. Being somewhat social people.
Yeah.
We want the cat to have its own podcast, spin-off.
Coming up soon. In the next fall.
But then she also said it was a tortoise shell, and I grew up with tortoise shell cats.
Yeah, I'm not used to tortoiseshell cats. I don't know if we have them in Sri Lanka.
Tortoise shells, they have that dappled, like blacks and dark browns and white. So they each have like a very unique pattern on their face, kind of like a fingerprint.
And the photos has not just made justice for the poor girl.
She showed us the photo, and even I was kind of like, oh, where? I was like, where are its eyes exactly? There's one eye. Is that an eye? Is that the spot? That's the pattern. Okay.
Is there an eye?
It was a bit of an optical illusion. Whoever took the photo.
Oh dear. But yeah, we thought, okay, if she's shy anyways, and then she's kind of like not want to be social, and then like a bit of anxious cat, we might have like, let's see, because we're just here to have a look, right?
I thought it was good because I'm like, well, at least that will stop me falling in love, because
That's
I know that's not going to kind of suit our house, having a shy cat. And Sammy
we don't want to put the cat in a very, very antisocial cat. We don't want to put it in a place where like there are people coming around all the time. Like It's not fair for the cat either.
Exactly. And Sammy is there with us during this.
And he's not participating. He's like, what do I do?
He was also sick at the time.
That's true. He's the one who gave us the sickness.
He insisted that it was a dust allergy.
Yeah, we're still struggling.
And now me and Emasha have caught the dust allergy. So with the three of us kind of wander in there. We follow the nurse, and she only let one of us go in at a time.
Because the cat was a very shy, and like they don't want to overwhelm the cat. They were like, maybe just one person go in at first. That was the premise.
And apparently the cat had an older brother, but he'd recently been adopted out a few days ago. So I went inside, and the cat was kind of in the little carrier at the back in its little bed, and I was kind of like, hi, and then like I reached out and it like gave its neck so I could like pat it and rub the neck, and it started purring away.
It was crazy purring.
My heart melted. I'm like, okay, well, I'm in love.
Oh, shoot.
Quite like how my marriage happened.
Oh, no.
Few minutes, few hours. That's all it takes. So I left the room, and then I'm trying to keep like my stone mask face on. I'm like, yep, cool.
Emasha, do you want to go in?
What happened when you went in?
And I went in. It's such a cute cat. As I said, the photos did not do justice for this gorgeous gal.
What a bastard! Why was it so cute?
Cute? I was like, okay, why are you the damn so cute? So I went in, tried to pat her. She not just she let me pat her, she just almost fell out of the basket trying to just like wiggle out there to get to me, and
She
then
threw herself like half out of the basket trying to get into your arms.
And I'm like, oh. And then she, like, how I mean, if a cat gives you to rub her tummy, that means like she has utmost trust on you, because like they're
She's like, oh, here are my vital organs. Have at them.
yeah, she was like basically like half off the basket and her tummy out for me to rub her, and then she was like just like wiggling out of the thing to get to me. It was so cute, and I was so emotional.
And then the vet was like, oh, do you want to go in as well to me? I'm like, you sure? She's like, well, apparently this cat's not shy anymore, so do what you want.
And also, like, not just her, there were like two other people who were helping out. They were just also like peeping through, and it's like, oh my god, that's a different cat today.
They all just kind of came and stared in disbelief at what was happening. I think she really came into her own after, like, she wasn't living in her brother's shadow any longer.
But I would like to think that she chose us. That's why she was doing that.
Yeah, and that's, I talked about with Aggie, my mum's cat, she got from SPCA. She was also a tortie.
The cat place.
Yeah, last time I went, Mum had narrowed it down to 2 kittens, and I was determined to go for like the black cat at the back who was very shy, but then this like flirty little tortoise shell kept rubbing up against me and like clearly chose us, and there was no real hope, and it felt like that this time. So I was allowed to go into the room with Emasha, and Emasha's like cradling the cat like a baby in her arms, which is purring away.
Yeah.
And you got like super emotional, like, which I expect from myself, but I don't expect from you, you know?
Hey, dude, how dare you?
Well, you were the one who went and making me promise to not, So, like, it's not like, it's like, it was obviously, it would have taken a lot for you to tear up and get emotional, because you went in there, like, with your barriers, cautiously up.
I love cats and dogs, by the way. But the thing is, like, I'm the one normally I'm not the one who thinks it responsibly, but in this relationship, because Sam just like fall in love with everything.
We have different areas of responsibility.
I have to be the one
when it comes to houses. When it comes to houses and pets, I have to have like a little preamble given to me to protect my heart.
Yeah, there are other ways where like, yeah, you have to just make me like, okay, let's be realistic here. So
we take turns.
Yeah. So I think pets are there. I think Bunny kind of like, she reminds me a lot of Bunny, and I was like, I can't leave you here. But I'm like, nope, we came here without any understanding. Plus, I'm like, I don't know, like, it's a lot of responsibility. I mean, I don't think it is as much of a responsibility to the end of owning a puppy, because you can't technically leave a puppy alone, like at least until they are grown up puppies or whatever. But at the same time, you're responsible for a living thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I think it's better than starting with a child, though. Like,
yeah, this is the second practice child.
Yeah, but Amma, like, would come in there with that decision. I felt like I couldn't. I just promised not to push and be like, let's get it today.
Yeah.
So I had to be like, yeah, okay, we'll leave this little cat behind. And the SPCA woman was just, she was like, you're leaving? Aren't you going to take the cat with you? Because like they'd all seen this moment of like hyper emotional bonding.
Yeah.
And they're like, you guys are leaving, this doesn't add up. And I was kind of scared that if we left, like they would adopt it to somebody else. So like, as we were heading out, I kind of turned to the woman. I was kind of like fingers crossed. I'm like, to try to indicate like.
Oh my god, the things you do behind my back, Sam. I had no idea.
That is the only one I've ever done.
Now I'm just suspecting and then reflecting everything that happened in my life with
I
you.
thought the best time to tell you was on the podcast.
What else did you tell her?
That was it. Like,
Okay.
Because otherwise we were just kind of walking out, backs turned, and I'm like, oh, they'll just adopt it to the next.
But now you make it look like I am the bad guy.
You're not the bad guy. Like we both needed to process it, and like it, we talked about it, but it was still a bit of a spontaneous decision. So we both knew we needed to go home and kind of just sit on the floor and like, soak in the decision a little bit. But I just wanted to give her a reminder that like, we are like hopeful and keen for it.
Right. Okay. I'll try and forgive.
This is the end of Sorry, Amma.
It's actually a genuine sorry from now on. Sorry, Amma. I actually married a Kiwi. I don't know what to do anymore.
He just loves cats and he doesn't know how to say SPCA.
Okay. Anyways, we came home.
It was also getting like rainier and rainier, and I'm driving through the rain, and then Sammy's in the back going, "Should I go to Sri Lanka?" And in the front,
He just like picked the flight. He was like pick everything. He was just about to click confirm pay, and he's not pushing that button, and then kept.
He didn't want to abandon us. He was kind of torn, but obviously he really wants to see the family. He doesn't know when he'll next get to go and see them. And meanwhile, in the front, in the passenger seat, Emasha's like, "Should we get a cat?" And I'm just trying to navigate through the rain. I'm like, oh my gosh, a car of indecision.
Yep, a car of indecision came home.
So we came home, we went to our usual like deliberating spot on the floor, not on the bed, like on the floor of the bedroom by the windows.
I'm a floor guy.
It's a good... I'm married to a floor guy.
I'm on the floor.
And we called a few people.
Yep, including your mum and my friend Jen.
I think my mum has been wanting to get another cat for a long time.
She got so emotional. It was so cute.
I've never heard her like so proud of me that I was thinking of getting a cat. It was so lovely. So she was amazing and super supportive. But she kept saying to you, like, you talked out how you were feeling, and Mum's like, "So what's the con?"
She's like, "What's the problem now?"
She's like, "I'm happy to help. I just don't understand what the problem is that's stopping you."
Yeah, what's stopping you? That's what she was asking. It's like, I understand, like, we both love her. So what's stopping you?
And we called Jen.
Yeah.
She's been campaigning for us to get a cat for some time.
Yeah. She was secretly sending you cat photos, didn't she?
Call it secretly. It's a little bit blatant. And you called Amma. Of Sorry, Amma, I married a Kiwi fame.
Yeah, we had a few consultations around, and then...
I don't think Mum or Amma had been really told about this decision in advance. I think it caught... Even my dad, who like is just an incredible guesser, you'll hand him like a present at Christmas and he'll like instantly say what's in the present. But he just could not guess that we were getting a cat.
Yeah.
I was like, something new for the house. It's got 4 legs. He's like, oh, you've already got a table. I don't know what it could...
A chair? Did you get another pair of chairs?
So what was the process then for you?
Sammy was kept asking me, like, what do I do? And do I go to Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
Like in my head. And we were also thinking about doing a road trip with him to drop him off, sort of thing, because he's driving anyways.
You mean when he goes to Christchurch?
When he's going to Christchurch to start his new job. And I'm like, if we get a cat, we have to be leaving her behind. And then we're thinking of doing this and that. And there's so many responsibilities. And then I don't, like, I'm like, there's so much to think about. And at the same time, I'm like, that cat kind of felt like she chose us. And also, as I said, I have never been to an SPCA before. And I'm like, do all the cats con all the people just to be adopted? Or is this a special bond?
Yeah. I was just like, does this happen every time? I'm like, no. It was clearly a special moment we had.
I think I understand that now.
So we drove back there through the rain. Sammy's still in the back deciding whether to book his flight to Sri Lanka. There was a collision. The traffic was chaos.
Yeah, it was like instead of 14 minutes or so that we're supposed to take to get there, it took us like, what, 20, 25 minutes, and then Sam while driving, he goes, it's like, please call. Like, they asked us to be there by 3, but now it's going to be 3:02.
The nice woman at the SCPAH she said,
Now you're owning it.
she said, like, you need to be here by 3. I can turn down the other applications, but I can't promise beyond that she'll be there. And that might have just been like a sales technique to like give some scarcity, but it sure worked. I was like fighting my way through that rain.
Anyways.
And we could believe what was happening.
Yeah, it was very sweet. And then now we are home with the little baby kitten.
So we had to like stop by to get kitty litter on the way.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I jumped. I saw the time and I'm like, you know what? We can't just not start our Sri Lanka part today.
I thought that at the start of today. I'm like, we're definitely going to have to tell the whole cat story. It's unavoidable.
True. I'm sorry, guys.
So, Sammy and Emasha got out of the car and ran and got kitty litter. We couldn't believe that this was happening. We got to the SPCA and what else did we get?
We had to have the cat carrier, and like funny story about that, like in Sri Lanka, I mean, we don't have SPCAs, and my cat's little bunny, I used to take her to vet with my older brother, who's in a bike. He would be sitting in the bike, like a motorbike, and I would be in the back seat in the motorbike with the cat like this and under one arm, and then she's just like, I mean, obviously cats are not going to stay like that, but Bunny was really chill sometimes, and then she would be just like looking around, like fear in her eyes. So that's how I transported her.
So I was trying to explain why cat carriers exist in New Zealand, because I did have, I've had a cat that's vomited before in the car while being transported, one that peed in the cat carrier, and then we braked suddenly and everything kind of sloshed out. Sorry.
But our little baby was so chill.
Just seeing the world go by.
Yeah, she was just sitting there looking around. It's like, okay, we're going home now? Great.
And what have we decided to call her?
We decided to call her Chuti Persephone Cordy Blood.
Isn't that great? Chuti is Sinhala for small.
Yep.
Which she is.
Which is, hope she wouldn't get a ginormous cat. Yeah. It would be ironic if that is the case.
Nobody tell her name means small because she thinks she's a queen.
Yeah, she is a queen. That's why Persephone
is, queen of the underworld, just to give her a bit of mystique.
Yeah. She's mysterious.
Chuti Cody Blood wasn't enough.
No, it doesn't really grasp her personality.
And we've been teaching her tricks that she can do to Sinhala.
She comes to you when you call her Chuti Enna, which means little come.
Come, Chuti. It's good because it's helping me practice my Sinhala as well.
Yeah.
So I can say...
Did you think you will start learning a language with a cat?
There's a lot of things I didn't expect. So we say Chuti Enna, which is come, and she comes. We've got Muna.
Is face, yeah.
Is face. So
it's like booping. Like a boop.
She'll boop her nose against my hand when we say Muna. We taught her Vadivenna, which is sit.
Yeah.
Getting pretty good at that. It's only been a week. Leaps and bounds.
I know. She's amazing.
Her Sinhala is going to outstrip mine. And
she's going to sit down and have a conversation with my mom and dad when they come here.
I know. I'm so excited. Amma said she would bring some dried fish for the cat. She was very sweet.
They're very excited.
You've been such a good cat mum.
Oh,
well.
Thank you.
She loves you a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's really cool to have a cat just sunbathing.
Yeah, it just makes it more of a home. She's pretty chill.
I think so. Yeah.
She was sniffing around the podcast setup with great interest because this is going to be an important part of her life.
Until she starts her own podcast
called Chilling with Chuti.
Okay, so I think we're very close to half an hour, but still, I think we really should get into our story here. Okay,
we're going to throw them another bone about Sri Lanka, and then we're definitely going to focus on it for the whole next podcast.
I think we should get into it a little bit.
Okay, so I made some notes here in my master notebook. So we touched on it a little bit last time, just generally what your feelings were. Mm-hmm. Again, I tried to win you over in 30 days, but you're headed back to work in the Supreme Court in Sri Lanka for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
You hadn't been to see your family in a year?
When you say I went to work in the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, I just need to clarify, not in the court itself. I went there to practice as a junior counsel, a lawyer.
In the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka?
Well, in the whole court system, but the senior that I was working with, he was mainly on Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, and that.
I just never get tired of saying that you worked in the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka.
And every time you say it, I'm like, I think I need to explain that. That sounds like I'm just like boasting, which I'm not.
Didn't I also? No, I'm doing it for you. Didn't I also gave you...
Appreciate it.
I had a little plushy toy of a shrimp. Like a little pink crustacean called Sensational Shrimp.
Yeah, that's so cute. I just took it everywhere where I went.
You took it to the Supreme Court.
It did go to the Supreme
There's a little
Court
selfie of the shrimp in the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, which was cool.
It's tiny, by the way. It's not like a ginormous shrimp or anything. It's a small, tiny little shrimp who traveled around everywhere, including the Supreme Court, yes.
So you said going back with family was great because you got to do a puzzle with the family?
Yeah, I think like this time when I went back, I was kind of like into leisure activities that Kiwis normally do, like board games and puzzles and things like that, to have the family sit down and do things like that. I don't think that's a part of our culture, at least like my family. Like we spend a lot of time together, like for our family sit together and then have afternoon teas and stuff. Like that's not something I have much heard of. So we just have some teas and some short eats and stuff like that, and then sit in the garden, and then all five of us would have a good old chat. But we never did like activities along with it. So I thought that would be a good idea, and that was the first time I kind of tried it. So I guess by that point I was like openly starting to take Kiwi culture back home.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and they loved it. Like everybody was into it, and it was very lovely. Yeah, that's one thing I really love about the friendships and families here. We do that at Sam's family home, like Mum's place and stuff like that, and like all the friends and families. We do board games a lot. I just started to realize how important to have. I mean, not that you get to sit down and then have things to talk about constantly. So it's nice to just sit down and do something together as well, rather than just like keep talking. You
said you did kind of realize on that trip that you'd become much more introverted since being in New Zealand.
That's a good point though, because I haven't been to Sri Lanka for that long of a period until that point, after probably like 5 years or so. So when I got home, it was kind of like daunting for my mother. One, maybe it was playing on her head, like, what is actually going on back there, back in New Zealand. At the same time, I have been quarantining or isolating, whatever you want to call it, throughout the lockdown on and off for 3 years in New Zealand.
Essentially on your own for most of that experience.
I was, and I literally I had my work set up in my bedroom, and I had my bed, and I had my kitchen in the flat that I would just go down to and then just have whatever the food I want to make, and then I would come back and then work and go to sleep and wake up. That was my routine for like 3 years, unless you go to work or something.
And you didn't want to go home in case it jeopardized the visa, which it did for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, in a way, I was lucky. I want to count my blessings, because I would finish work. I go to the point of like running actually, because there was a point, because you don't actually shut off from work, because it is 5 o'clock, but there's a lot to do. I mean, a lot of people didn't have, their works were in a bit of a trickier place, but for me, I was working with the law firm at the time, and the cases didn't stop, and we were working on a very, very gigantic case at the time, so I had way more stuff to do. There was a point my mom was like, the whole world has stopped working and you're working. It's 11 p.m. in New Zealand. You're still working. So, and I was like, okay, this has to stop. So I kind of came to the point where like 5 o'clock, I would shut the laptop, get out. I was very close to this beautiful area called One Tree Hill in Cornwall Park. There are sheepies around. I love looking at sheepies and stuff. So
did you hug one?
No, they just, I don't think I'm supposed to.
No, but it's always been like a life goal.
I
of
want
yours.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would just like 5 o'clock sharp, I would go for a run. Just at least to just get a little bit of a change. But the amount of nature that I had to, that I got to be close to during lockdown, I'm super grateful, because my parents and my family back home would be like, oh, we can't even get out from the gate in the lockdown time. But anyways, that's just like a blast from the past. But which kind of make me go into meditation. I was always excited and curious about it. I went to 2 like 10-day meditation retreats, silent
And
retreats.
those things are hardcore.
Those are hardcore. You don't like, can you imagine me not talking 10 days?
Well, it'd be a very boring podcast.
No, I mean, like, for somebody who decided to have a podcast, who can talk, I was surprised that I got through 10 days without talking, because that's a lot of restraining. And I loved it, by the way. But that kind of make me go in rather than my socially, like the old social butterfly self. I became more of an introvert. I think my mother got a little bit of into it, because like I would, after a little while in the whole day, I would be like, I think I need to just go into my room.
Have a lie down, have some me time.
Yeah, have some me time. I think that there are 2 parts to it. One, she wasn't used to, I mean, anybody knows about Asian culture is like, what do you mean by me time? That's one. Plus she's like, what are you not happy with us? What's going on? So, yeah.
And also, I think you also have said before that in Sri Lanka, you feel like people just live on top of each other. Like they've never really had the option of having that space to themselves.
At least we're not brave to ask for it. Like here, you can, doesn't matter whether that's your mother, father, brother, sister, you can be, or friend or husband, wife, you'd be like, I want my time for a little bit. Just give me my time. I want me time. But I don't think I grew up with that. If I tell that to my parents, they'd be like, what?
Yeah, especially
So,
I think of Aya and Marty too, your older brother and his wife, who literally live in the same home. It's amazing that they do then, that they're there for family, but there's it's just much more uncommon for that to happen in New Zealand, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's becoming like the norm to be getting a separate house and stuff. But still, I hear conversations of like recently a family friend's son got married, and there were conversations around whether it's okay for him and his new wife to move into a new house, whether how okay that is, or like, is that a selfish move, or
To
like
not be there for parents.
yeah, or like, are you turning your back on your parents? Like, it's so the fact that it's still a conversation for a newly married couple to have a new house, or like their space on their own, that kind of says a lot, right?
Yeah. I feel like there's a bit of stereotype in New Zealand that if you get married and you're still living with the parents, then this isn't always the situation. But I guess some people would kind of say behind your back that you're being like a burden, or that you're kind of like, you're an adult now, you're married, you should definitely be out at home. So it's not kind of seen as, you choose to stay with parents to look after parents.
It is so funny how people look at the same action in very different lenses. One is just, oh, you're burdening. And then one is like,
Why aren't you staying and helping?
yeah. Why aren't you taking care of your parents? Where are you going?
Yeah. But yeah, it's just an interesting dynamic. And I love like how close-knit, your family is. That's something I really love and respect. Like, I grew up with separated parents and like just felt like I had the happiest upbringing, 2 amazing parents, but obviously not that like big family dynamic.
Yeah.
So I especially love like seeing how like Sudu, your little brother, how much he values family and is devoted to family. Like, I guess for usually like a young guy in New Zealand, they tend to like kind of lose contact with the family a bit and go and do their own growing and forming their identity, and then kind of come back to make amends for that later on. Which I know my dad says kind of happened to him too. Like, he's a huge, he was hugely devoted to his parents, but kind
Took a while.
Took a while, regrets
Yeah.
that he went off and did his own thing. So, yeah, I love that. That's such a core value.
I feel like there has to be like a middle ground for that. Like,
It would be great, actually.
you don't actually have to run away from family to find your identity. like you can keep the family in you, and then keep constant contact, because you mean the world to the parents, and then but still you have to have that distance in a way, otherwise you're not gonna grow into your own person. Like it's actually one of the complaints I got the most from Amma when I was staying there for that 3 months. She was like, you have changed a lot. You have changed a lot. She was constantly telling me that. Not just her. My brother Sudhu was telling me that. He hasn't been to New Zealand by that point. My older brother was telling me that. Like, they were kept telling me, I have changed a lot. And I'm like, I am proud of that. If I haven't changed, that's problematic. I have 5 years worth of experience in a country, like, on my own. I lived a life on my own.
Through a, unprecedented pandemic.
Through a pandemic. I just had to just sort of, make sure that I'm alive for 5 years, in very,
And I think you also, had to find so much inner strength during that time, which I was really inspired by. I know you say when there was, a lot of terrible things going on, you had that isolation, you kept coming back to meditation and the mantra of this too shall pass. So I feel like that, more than anything, that must have been such a transformation for you.
That makes me emotional, actually, thinking about that time. There must have been so many people who have been spending time on their own, right? It's not easy. But at the same time, I think I am a different person and a better person in a way because of that. Because I had to go through that. I had to tune into my inner self to find oh, okay, this is going to pass. It's not going to be forever. But at the same time, you're like, what the hell? It's going forever. So, yeah, you change. And the fact that you change needs to be accepted.
It's funny that you were going through all these big realizations in pandemic, and I'd been staying in this little building beside the university where I didn't have a shower, and I had a gym subscription just to use the shower at the gym nearby, and there was all these kind of bug infestations in the building. So as soon as we got the pandemic or the lockdown alert, I was like, I'm out of here, man. I shoved everything into a bag, got the bus to Dad's place to lock down for pandemic, and we just played a lot of zombie video games.
Oh my God. Every time you mention that you spend, Dad's house is in a gorgeous location right next to the beach.
The privilege.
And the New Zealand beaches, you don't have to mention or explain or describe. Oh my God, I'm jealous.
Yeah, it was an incredible... Dad and I have always been close, but it was an amazing bonding time for me and Dad. But I know since then we've always said, if only you and I knew each other.
Oh my God.
During pandemic, or before, if we'd met before then, it would have been such a different experience for you. And I really regret that you had to suffer through a lot on your own there.
That's okay.
Sometimes, okay, that's good. Okay, yeah. We moved on.
Okay, guys. On that note, and yeah, if you want to share your lockdown stories with us, please do. I don't know who I'm talking to. There are a few people who listen to this. If you have a crazy story about your lockdown, just tell us.
How should they tell us?
How should they tell us?
We need an email.
Oh, shoot. I haven't thought this through. Next time, when we come into the podcast, we'll tell you how to contact us.
An email address. Baby steps.
Oh, no, you can comment under Spotify.
Please comment with your lockdown story. If you have something you'd like to share, we'd love to hear it.
Please, at least one person do comment. Okay, on that note, so we went overtime today because we are compensating for the last week.
You get some Sri Lanka stories. I have a whole notebook here with multiple pages of stuff which happened during that 3 months. So
yeah,
we'll dive into it. No more cat stories.
Yeah.
No more whatever we got distracted with the other time.
Yeah, we will. I mean, we have dived in. We will swim through.
And to be honest, all stories, even the present tales, still link back to then, right? It's all one giant. I think
you're okay. Yeah, I don't. Nobody can see what
Rubik's
you're doing with
cube.
your hand movements.
We're spinning you an intricate spider's web of narrative.
Okay.
Please join us next time.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.